This is the Infinix Note 40 Pro, and this is the Redmi Note 30 Pro. One thing that they already have in common is probably the word Note and Pro at the end that every smartphone seems to have these days. Both of these devices are fascinating in terms of how similar yet different they are at the same time. So why not compare them and see which one offers the best for its price? What's up guys, my name is Dennis Wawero. This is Techweez. Let's talk. Both of these devices are mid-range smartphones, so you will find that both Redmi and Infinix try to make their respective phones as competitive as possible when it comes to almost every aspect, including the design, cameras, power, and overall performance. But it's important to note that both of these phones are trying to compete with many other mid-range models, which I would say have been quite impressive this year so far, especially. The designs of both smartphones are very different. The Redmi comes with a boxy design, which you would say is a more traditional look for a smartphone or for a device of any kind. Infinix, on the other hand, didn't spare their ideas with a more unique look, highlighted by the curvy design on the display and the huge camera bump that holds 3 lenses, and of course the Halo active lighting flashlight. The Redmi's cameras are quite noticeable as well because they are quite big and they protrude quite much from the back as well. Many people would go for the design that stands out, and why not? You want a smartphone that has a back that is made of leather or has a special marble finish rather than just a glossy back that can become a fingerprint magnet, which the Redmi brings. I will personally go for the more boxy look. That's just me, I'm an old soul, since I tend to lean on phones that still stick to the flat screen design. But I can see why the Note 40 Pro would turn heads. So generally, I would say the Infinix takes it in this round. Software and performance is probably the section that a nerd like me might observe the most to see which phone offers the best experience. Both phones come with the latest version of Android, which is the 14. Even though you might have to upgrade the Redmi if you bought it a little bit earlier, since it launched earlier than the Infinix Note 40 Pro. But when it comes to general UI, here is where the skins come into play. MIUI has always been a skin I prefer much more on the Redmi than most, but you cannot deny the steps that Infinix has taken to improve XOS over the years. That doesn't mean I would take it. Sure, you get the fun hidden features from XOS, but MIUI generally is smoother, straight to the point for me, and get this, less pre-installed apps, which most phones seem to come in these days. In terms of performance, I would say they are almost identical. The Redmi, which packs the Helio G99 Ultra chipset, while the Infinix comes with a Helio G99 Ultimate. Both are octa-core processors, which means they will give very similar clock speeds in general. In layman's terms, you will see that both handle heavy games or editing apps very similarly. In the long run, you won't have that much of an issue when it comes to your daily apps. And with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage on both, you won't really be able to differentiate between both when it comes to stuff like multitasking. What might differ is how much they perform in the long term as you continue to update the software and the apps and the various installed apps that you have. Cameras. It's interesting that I found the older phone, which is the Redmi, to have invested a little bit more when it comes to both hardware and software aspects of the optic lenses. Hear me out. The Redmi comes with a huge 200 megapixel main shooter, while the Infinix a 108 megapixel main lens. Now, people will say that it is a huge difference, but that will only matter if you are one who pays attention to a lot of detail on your photos and videos. The Redmi emphasizes a lot more on ultra-wide capabilities with an 8 megapixel wide camera, while the Infinix is more about the tight shots with two 2 megapixel lenses. So it depends on what kind of shots you like more and you like to take a lot more. When it comes to video, I found myself preferring the Infinix as it can shoot at a max of 4K resolution, which the Redmi sadly maxes out at 1080p. When it comes to selfies, the Infinix takes it with its 2 megapixel front-facing camera that offers that little bit more real-life selfies and has wider field of view for group selfies. The Redmi has a 16 megapixel with beautification features that I still don't like. If you want that though, then I won't budge you. That is for you. Power and batteries is where I was probably fascinated the most in terms of how each device offers a feature or a spec that tends to compete with the other and in the industry as a whole. So Infinix has come up with all these charging technologies to power the 5000 milliamp hour battery pack, which includes the MagPad that is supposed to bring in wireless charging. I haven't even mentioned stuff like low temp, hypercharging that are supposed to be features on the Infinix and are supported by the Cheetah X1 chip, which is Infinix's own in-house chip. The Redmi, on the other hand, comes with a 5100 milliamp hour battery, which is slightly bigger and has 67 watt wired charging compared to the 45 wired charging on the Infinix Note 40 Pro. If you want just traditional wired charging that is faster, the Redmi takes it. But I will have to give a lot of credit to the Infinix, who have chosen to lean more on innovation and integrating new kinds of charging tech that you don't normally see, especially in this price range. In the long run, it's all about what you really want from your device. Despite the Redmi being the older device, it still competes well with the Infinix Note 40 Pro. That comes with a lot of fascinating features and tech. You will probably find the Redmi Note 13 Pro to be cheaper than the Infinix at 42,000 Kenya shillings launch price right now, while the Infinix launched at about 38,000 retail price. So I won't choose. You get to choose. Let us know what you guys think from this comparison, which phone you would pick. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more fun content, including reviews for each of these phones. This was fun, and as always, I will see you in the next one.